Hi, everybody. Good afternoon, and welcome to another series this week of our Stories hosts. Today we have the wonderful Greek goddess London with us, so we are just waiting for her to join to send a request. I think you guys are spoilt this week because you have had my goodness, you've had two amazing fragrance writers with us. So we're just bringing Maria on. But yeah, just as I was saying, you are spoiled this week. Hi, Maria.
Hi.
How
Oh,
are
ooh.
you?
Yes, I am. Let me just quickly adjust my camera because this is too close.
I
Give me a
know I can hear me
second.
in the background talking. How are you doing? I
Yeah, I'm
was
good, thank you. Oh,
good. I was
I've
just
got a
saying
little.
to, I was just saying to everybody just before you came on, you're disappearing.
I
I was
know.
just saying before I brought you on. Our followers are absolutely spoilt this week. They have had
Yes,
Persolays, they have now got you, which is absolutely incredible. But what better time than National Fragrance Week to have two of the most wonderful perfume writers. So you are very, very welcome.
thank you, thank you. That's lovely. It's so great. I mean, yes, any chance we can get to celebrate fragrance is great, but to have actually a week and a specific international day to celebrate fragrance is always such a pleasure. Every year, I just looking forward it so much,
I know.
especially with COVID, that for 2 years we really didn't have any celebrations.
I
It's
know.
just fantastic now that we can actually do a few things at least.
Absolutely. No, it is. It's just incredible. And what beautiful weather that we're enjoying at the same time. I hope it's sunny with
Yes.
you as
It
well.
is very, you can see, like, I can't really block the sunshine
I
from the
know.
windows. It's fantastic.
I know. It's so lovely. But okay, so I know you. I have met you actually face to face, which is amazing.
Yes,
But some of our followers may not know you. If they do, they might not know you as Maria, but they will know you as the Greek goddess London. So
I
maybe
know.
just give us a little bit of an insight who you are.
So, who I am. So, well, like we've said, I've been interested in fragrances at a very young age. I- We'll talk about it later on. I
Yeah,
suddenly found myself writing and having my own blog. And then it's just an ongoing love of fragrance and helping people find the right fragrance, hopefully, or giving them ideas. That sometimes is just enough. And literally just be there and part of that community is just kind of amazing, discovering, nurturing new brands, new perfumers, from the beginning. It's something that I really enjoy the most, or see how perfumers evolve throughout the years and what good work they produce. That's actually quite amazing because when I first started, you know, trying fragrances and then trying to find out a little bit more about them, not just what the salespeople would tell you at the shop. It just opened up a completely new world for me, and it's something that really, really made me more interested in the fragrance because of the background of it and how much,
yeah,
it means, and of course the industry, how much it's actually worth. If you see the numbers, it's maddening. Yeah, it's quite
yeah.
big.
It is, and just before I started on this journey, or at the very beginning, I should say, of this journey, I had no idea that I was entering the most oversaturated part, of the beauty world. It's just incredible. So there's so much newness going on out there, and so much noise in the fragrance. But you don't only just do fragrance; you do beauty as well. Isn't that correct?
I do beauty as well. Although I try to do beauty. This is kind of, I think, the right expression. My blog did start as a fragrance and beauty blog, but in all honesty, it's just fragrance takes up so much of my time, and because I have a full-time job as well, the balance is just not there to do a little bit more about beauty as I would really like to. because it
Yeah.
is a big love for me as well. It is something that I discovered literally on my own, because when I was growing up in Greece, there were not a lot of shops, and my mother was not really interested in beauty and cosmetics. So it was literally a discovery that I made with my friends, going out to the shops and trying out things. So it was, yeah, a bit
Yeah.
that has a love that has grown through the years.
Wow, amazing. So you mentioned it, and it is one of my questions, and it is in the name, the Greek goddess. And you've mentioned it that you are from Greece. So
Yes.
I would love to hear a little bit about your journey, about in when you lived in Greece, and your journey to the UK. But not only that, I would love to know a little bit about, did that have a does it have make you have a preference over certain scents? Your
Yes.
So I would love to hear a little bit more about that.
So as yes, well, this is why I named my blog obviously Greek Goddess London, because I am from Greece, and when I started the blog and I was looking for a name, I wanted something catchy, obviously. I didn't want to just use my name. And I wanted to connect the Greek part with the dot London thing that has, my blog has. So that's how the name was born somehow. I was born in Greece, raised in Greece, and actually moved to the UK, London specifically, quite old, I would say, like 10 years ago.
Okay.
So the majority of my life and my adult life was spent in Greece, in two cities. I was born in Thessaloniki up north, where the weather actually back then was quite similar to the London weather. So it wasn't a big hit for me. So we have a lot of rain, we have a lot of wind, we have that cold winters. So it wasn't like a big surprise. When I moved to Athens, it was a completely different environment. And also, it took me a while to realize and go back. It was a bit of a journey for me to understand myself, why I like scent and fragrance so much. Why does it mean so much to me? It's because of all the stimulations that you get uh, from the different places as well. Every place, every city has its own scent, and some perfumers have tried to actually put that into fragrance. And I think
Ah,
that's an excellent way to
yeah.
interpret fragrance, because it is every city, every place, even every neighborhood, your home has a specific smell, and you
Yeah.
don't realize it because you live in it. But when you go out, especially on vacation, and you come back, it's like, yes, it's not,
Yeah.
it's the feeling that's
Yeah.
connected to the smell. You go back to that familiar smell. For example, I
Absolutely.
had in Greece a pillow that I had it for 20 years, exactly until it was completely destroyed, really, because of the smell of the smell.
Yes.
So, and as a family, we used to go out for a lot of trips and see at different places. And I do the same thing with my husband as well. We go a lot of exploring. So it was about connecting the different smells with the places and what everything meant to me. And there's a lot of stimulation, especially with Greece, with the cooking and the food. And
Yeah.
Greece is mostly known for its beaches and summer holidays, but it has a lot of mountains and a lot of winter destinations that are very popular in Greece. And you
Yeah.
can go skiing even, and all sorts of things. And there's a lot of different places that have their own smell. And so all of that slowly came, I came to realize how much that affected me
Wow.
liking and being intrigued about
Yeah.
fragrance. And I remember the first day we arrived with my husband in London, it was a bit of a shock in a sense, because I had never visited London. Like, we decided to move and never been before. So it was just
Yeah.
literally landed
Oh,
into the
wow.
unknown. Yes, exactly.
Amazing. It must have had an
So
amazing impact.
it did. Like, sensory, it was a sensory shock, to be honest.
Oh,
Not
I'm
in a
sure.
good sense,
I am sure.
because it was a cold and very rainy December day, and the wet earth and that bit of moldiness and a bit of, you know, but as well, the visual, the greenery and everything, it was so different. And yes,
Yeah.
It was
It's
a bit
amazing.
of a shock.
It's
Yes.
amazing how you say every country has a smell. And I totally get you because we have a holiday home in Portugal. And when we go, as soon as you step out of the plane, there is a smell that is so specific to that country. And I find that so I don't feel so stupid when I hear you saying that. I can, because I find that so much. And as you say, when you come back to your home, it is such, you've got your home that's got a smell also. But you must have had a complete olfactory overset. The senses must have been just an override because
I know.
to arrive in London, and especially with it being so much more built up, etc. Well, I suppose I've never been to Athens, so I suppose it is a lot more built up than Athens, would it be?
It well, Athens is more built up in the sense that there's no green. There's
Okay,
nothing. There's no parks. There's no green. So it's just concrete. So the
okay,
smell is very uh, industrial in a way. You have a lot of pollution as well, as you do with cars and everything. So you have a lot of smells because there's cafes and shops and selling food and everything. So your stimulation comes from food really and
yes,
drinks.
yeah,
And there are people, of course, the smell of basil at summertime. Everybody's got a pot of basil
beautiful,
somewhere.
yeah,
Um, and those kind of things and the herbs and the cooking, this is the more of the smells that you will get. You will walk
yes,
down the streets and you'll get whiffs of this food and that food and something cooking and
yes,
windows open and the smells from the houses. So yes, there's
wow,
not a lot of green, but then you go to the coastline and you'll get the smell of the sea
yeah,
and everything that comes with that. So that's a different kind
yeah, wow,
olfactory
yeah,
experience. It combines a
absolutely.
lot of things. Yes.
Yeah. So, in terms of before you left to come to the UK and when you were in Greece, had you an interest then in perfume and writing?
Yes, well, it started sort of like an accident because I was following a few blogs, beauty blogs in Greece, and then started commenting here and there. And then on one of the blogs, uh, the most popular one actually, that is in Greece. After seeing my comments, like she contacted me and she's a friend now, and she said, well, would you like to write occasionally about it, about fragrance? You seem to know quite a few things. So why don't you kind of write a few things about, fragrance? And I started doing the non-off kind of thing. And um, we became friends. I wrote once a month or something because, again, in Greece, I had a full-time job, couldn't do it like uh, better, I would say.
Yeah.
So when we came to London and started looking for a job here, got caught up with things, so I stopped doing that. But after a year or two, it's just and in fact, I will blame my husband for that. He was just like, you need to do something about it. You need to write. You're
Yep.
going to all of these events. You're seeing things. You're doing things. So why don't you just write about it? People need to know. So I just said okay. And then one day I just launched it and said, this is it. I'm just going to launch it. And that was, I can't remember how many years ago, 7, 8 years ago.
Wow. Well, it's
Yeah.
amazing
I
because
think a
you,
milestone might be coming.
well, you
So,
went on and actually became a finalist in the wonderful Jasmine Awards for the Perfume
yes.
Society. So, or sorry, not with the Fragrance
With,
Foundation.
yes.
Yeah, so that was, and I'm sure that was incredible for you because it's how do you review and write about a fragrance? I mean, I've talked about this to lots of people over the last few years because it is such it's so hard to actually to get onto paper and really get people to grasp exactly what you're trying to experience when they can't physically smell it. So, I mean, can you share with us a little bit of that journey?
Yes,
How do you interpret a scent? Is
it's
there a
it's
specific
all
way?
about yes, it's all about um the story behind the perfume. That's why I believe it's very important for someone to share a story, an image,
Yeah.
the inspiration behind it, or if sometimes it doesn't matter, maybe the creator, the perfumer, the company has an idea and how they created it, how you perceive it might be different. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to be, as a, as objective as possible, in the sense that something that might be my preference might not be someone else's, and vice versa. So I cannot say, oh, this, unless something is really badly made, which in that case, or it's a copy perfume or something,
Yeah.
then I will not even go
Yeah.
anywhere near it. But in a normal kind of setting, I will try to be as, stand behind it as objective as possible, because for myself, judging from my experience, I used to hate, like literally hate rose fragrances. I used to hate rose in a fragrance. Why? And then I had to look into it. Why do I hate rose in fragrance? I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Like,
Yeah.
I like the flower. Why do I not like the perfume? So it came to me, and I realized that it's because when I was growing up, the Bulgarian rose scented products were really popular in Greece, and everyone was wearing it. It was everywhere. And
Yeah.
because some of them are not that well made, the scent was bad.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing put me off rose completely. So I started to train my nose a little bit and see the combinations with other materials and so on, and learn to love it. And I really love rose fragrances now. So I do understand if people don't like something, or it reminds, in some countries, something scented with jasmine, for example, smells like toilet cleaner. So anything you spray them that has jasmine in it, they will associate it
Yeah.
with that. So all of it has to do with associations. That's why a lot of brands will market different things to different countries or continents, even because things mean different things to different people.
Yeah.
When you smell something, the association is very, very important. The
Yeah.
heritage, the culture of the place. So all of that, I try to take that into consideration when I try to do a review, because it doesn't. What I say doesn't apply to everyone. Doesn't mean a lot of things.
Exactly.
So I use
Yeah.
the story that the perfumer or the company says, and then if it inspires me something else, I will write a little story about it myself, and then list the ingredients, because I know some people will go according to the ingredients as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes the ingredients are not what the perfumer may actually have put in, but the impression that it gives you, what they want to create.
Yeah.
And I try to use that, use images, use different things that could potentially inspire people to like, or to try it even.
Yeah.
Um, yes.
It's amazing though, because that's exactly how I feel as well. And funny you saying about Bulgarian rose, and I shared it. I share it with everybody because I'm so passionate about saying to people, do not concentrate on the ingredients. You've got to try it and really try and connect with it first. Whether you end up not wanting to buy that fragrance, or whether you don't want
Mm-hmm.
to wear that fragrance, it's all about just try to experience it, interpret it on your own skin. And I love that, because when I started working in fragrances, I had vanilla was my ingredient that I did not like. And I had when I started working in a perfumery in Grasse, I had gone with the idea, I don't like this, I don't like this, and I like this. And I remember the girl who I worked with and taught me the basics of perfumery. She had said, she just kind of nodded and she said nothing. But we, as when you put together fragrance, a lot of us blind test, and we try to experience it without knowing what the ingredient is. So she handed me a blotter with what I did not know was vanilla. And at this learning stage, I was writing down how I felt, any color I got, any picture I got. And I absolutely started writing, and she was very amused because she said, "Oh, do you like it?" And I was like, "I love it." And she goes, "Well, that's vanilla." And it really spoke to me, because I associated that with synthetic vanilla. And in the UK, many years ago, you used to walk into shops, and if you had a very synthetic candle, for example, it really overpowered the shop, and it was very sickening. So I was really blown away for the fact that and it's, you know, if you don't know what you're smelling and you just give it a chance, and of course, if it's a really fine ingredient and it's a good ingredient and it's sourced in a really good way, it can smell amazing. And I also love the fact that when you put, you know, a rose, Bulgarian rose, for example, and blend it with another note, it smells completely different to maybe
Hmm.
another perfume that you've tried. So I get you what you're saying, and totally 100% I'm behind you. It's, you know, you really kind of need to not focus too much on the ingredient side of things.
Exactly, because an ingredient on its own might smell completely foul, and then you put it in a perfume and it just
Yeah,
changes the entire composition. It's such a delightful way to play. That's why blind trials, I think, is something that should be encouraged as part of, training. Even fragrance foundation, the Roger Dove training that I would
brilliant.
anyone that works in the industry to do is brilliant, because he makes you smell things that you think, oh, this is not good, or this is, I love it,
I
and
know.
then it's something that you have said you will not wear and you absolutely
And yeah,
love it.
and and also your sense of smell changes, and it's not just about perfume.
Hmm.
It's about everything. I think it affects your cooking. It affects just even walking down the street. You know what you smell, the smells that you pick up. So I love the fact that Joe Fairley always talks about how she trained her sense of smell as
Yes.
well, because
That
you
is
know,
fantastic. When the Perfume
yeah,
Society first started, and actually I was scrolling down my Instagram right to the beginning, and actually the first two pictures that I posted when I first started my Instagram account before I even had a blog or anything was from the How to Train Your Sense of Smell workshops that she started when the Perfume Society was initially, like, in 2013, at the old Le Center
yeah,
shop behind Marble Arch. So that's my first pictures that I went there. They said, bring a bottle of perfume. And I went with three or four, I can't remember, because I couldn't choose.
yes,
That has always been my problem. I just can't
yeah.
choose a favorite fragrance. I
I
always
know,
have multiple favorites at any given time.
I know.
So yeah.
I Oh, amazing. I know Joe kindly wrote a blog for us as well at one stage, and she talked about how you train your senses. So I can imagine that that was absolutely a fabulous class to be with. So as you know, stories is all about connecting people with their own scent memory and really connecting them to their own story, whether it's their past, their present, or their future. And stories is all about, you know, when I started working with fragrance, I had an such an like an epiphany really of the power of that fragrance can have in our lives. And I had childhood memories overshadowed due to trauma in my life. And even though I went through all the really difficult um you know, counseling and etc. to remove that trauma, and it removed successfully, I still didn't have those childhood memories. And that was when I started working with fragrance. It really had the power to connect me to, you know, through our olfactory system through to my childhood. So I just want to know, you know, what is your sense story as well? Do you have one? Is it related to Greece or London, or do you have many? Because I would love to
I
listen
have
to them all.
so many. I have so many. I mean, there's so many things that are connected to smell. I mean, it has to do with the first swim in the sea every summer. Like, you go and the first hit of the sea salt air and the sand, how the sun warms it up, and how, it's everything. That is one of my favorite scent memories. Also, in terms of food, fried fish. Oh, so good. By
Really?
the
You?
seaside. Yeah, we fry a
Oh,
lot of fish.
yes.
Like, it's a lot of fried fish. Fresh fish from the sea, small,
Gorgeous.
bigger, and then just fry them. So this is like the smell of summer. Um, I hate aniseed, so I can't drink ouzo. But I remember my grandfather, his breakfast was a glass of ouzo and
Wow.
a tomato cut in four with so much salt that you could not see the tomato. Really, it was, I don't know, the so these are all And the thing that I've realized more recently is that my sense of smell is, I'm not synesthetic in any way, but I do connect colors
Yeah.
with scents. So for me, for example, oranges are blue. They shouldn't be orange. They should be blue. I don't know why, but
Yeah.
the smell of orange is blue, and
It's
very
blue.
vivid
It is
blue. Yes. So
amazing.
there's a lot of things that kind of connect, and those memories are quite embedded. Like I said, in Greece we didn't get a lot of rain, so the smell and because, like I said, it's quite cement city really, so the
Yeah.
smell of rain falling on the pavement, that petrichor smell, I
Yes.
absolutely love it.
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
Here you kind of get used to it, so you don't appreciate it so much because there's constant rain and there's a lot of greenery, so you get the smell of the wet earth, which I love as well so
Yes.
much. But it's the difference in the climate offers so much variety.
Yeah.
The majority, yes. And like I saw your interview with Darius, and I was just laughing out loud when he was mentioning the food, and like how many
Yes.
of us connect. That's where it all starts, the food in the kitchen, in the
Yep.
environment, so much that you, and all those stimulations, how many memories, and how many things trigger you throughout your
Yeah.
life to like or not like things or people.
I know.
It's a lot of people that you like or don't like, not just based how they look. It's just by the smell, what
Absolutely.
they might remind you of someone wearing XYZ cologne that you
Yeah.
literally didn't like, or something happened with them, you had a fight or whatever. and
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
so
Amazing.
amazing. It's so amazing.
It is. It is. It continues to blow me away. That connection where our sense of smell is just so powerful. It connects us immediately to a place, a person. And obviously there's dislikes there as well, where it reminds you of a situation or a person or an ex or whatever it may be. It can actually really put you off. But so today we're actually talking about on our social channels how to choose or how to do things with fragrance. So have you any tips on how you would guide somebody to choose a fragrance?
Well, my tips would be not to be biased,
Yeah,
not to go into a shop saying that I want this and this and this, and I don't want this and this and that. I think it's good to try new things and not to be afraid to walk into a shop and literally go around and spray everything on a blotter, put it in your pocket, in your bag, and then come back to it. Buy a little sample or get one free if possible, and then live with the fragrance a little bit before you decide to commit. Because I do understand not everybody like me is a perfume hoarder that will buy and store things and never give anything away. But
yeah,
even though I might wear something, I might buy something just for the reference of it.
yeah,
Um, but if it's something that you love and want to appreciate and wear it, then live a little bit. Don't be coy. And things have improved, I must say, in the shops. People are not just trying to, then they will give you a sample, they will give you a blotter to try it, and they will give you space. And I think that's where the Fragrance Foundation has helped a lot with the
yeah,
training of people, because I can't blame the
yeah,
salespeople. They did not know. The brands just gave them something,
yeah,
gave them some targets, and that was that. This is not the case anymore. And I know the brands, especially smaller ones like yours, want to bring up a loyal following. So they will not try to push something that will not be appreciated by the
yeah,
customer. Want to have good customer service, good product that people will like and they will
yeah,
continue to wear and cherish for years to come. And the complementary products, I think the shower gel, they're exceptional. I love them.
yeah,
Um, so
yeah.
that
No,
is the thing. So just try to live with the fragrance a little bit, get a sample of what you think you like, and just not be biased. Just go
yeah,
there. If someone offers you, do you want to try the new thing? Try it. You have nothing to lose. just try
Absolutely.
it. It's
I
free.
know.
They're not
I
gonna and just
absolutely.
take the blotter and walk away.
I know. And funny, obviously, we've only got the two fragrances at the moment, but I always, spray one in one arm and the other on the other arm. And I say to them to go away, and everybody goes immediately to their preference. But I always say to them, live with the other one for a few weeks. Try it daily or every other day or whatever. And I will honestly say about 95% of people will come back to me and go, that would not have been my choice of fragrance, and I now absolutely love it. So I totally get that. And that's one of the reasons that we really try to focus a lot on our samples. It's take them, wear them for a little bit, and see how it adapts and what is the story that comes out on the skin. So no, I totally get that. Now, I cannot let this time go by without speaking about your darling husband. And I just, because both of you are doing very similar in terms of being writers and bloggers, and he is incredible. And a lot of you guys listening to will know the London Man blog. He is wonderful. And I
Oh,
noticed
thank
lately,
you.
like
I know he is.
my husband's been following him, and I said, how do you know him, or where did you start to follow? And so what I need to know is, do you ever fight over fragrance, or is one
Oh
of you
yes.
ever does somebody love a fragrance that the other may not like? Because you guys are
Yes.
really strong opinions on things. How does that work?
So first of all, we share everything. So if I bring a fragrance home from a launch, or if I buy it and bring it home, then he will try it definitely. The good thing with him, and I think what all men should be like, the blind testing again comes into focus, is do not be biased about something being marketed as for men or for women. It is very good to see, like your brand, that people market their fragrances as gender free. Something might appear to be a bit more feminine or a bit masculine, but it's completely different on everybody's skin. So spraying it on the skin, even if it is a big floral, I'm not
Yeah,
saying fracas, but something in that sense, could very well be very, very nice on a man's skin, and be very complimentary. And if you don't tell people what you're wearing, they will not know. I spent many, many years wearing Fahrenheit, and people did not know what I was wearing. They just
yeah,
smelled something. And
yeah,
that was in the 90s, when things were very,
yeah,
strict. This
yeah,
is men's, this is women's.
yeah.
So it's very good to see now that things are evolving. But yes, we do fight over fragrance, and many times my fragrances go missing, and and they have gone into his little stash. But it is good. I
Yeah,
really enjoy the fact that he's not biased, and that he will wear anything that he feels smells nice on him.
good.
And there are some things that, like I said, bring him a little bit of headache, like the heavy florals will bring him a headache.
Yeah, yeah,
But it's like I will not like aniseed in fragrances so much. If it is a tiny bit and well done, I will notice it, but I don't mind it. But it will bring like a little ping in the brain kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
But otherwise, yeah, we share everything, and it's a good thing that you know you need to share with your partner, I
Absolutely. And
think. Just share.
I have a picture in my head that your weekends are strolling through the streets of London and beautiful little villages, and going in and out of fashion shops, perfume stores, and beauty. So that is my lovely picture of you both, because you guys are amazing, and thank you both for being very supportive. And funny,
Oh, you're
I
welcome.
had said to him, I sent him a message the other day and said, you're going to have to come on next, because we want to talk to him as well. We should have brought you
He's a
on
bit
together.
shy. Yeah,
Oh,
well,
we'll
he's a
have
bit
to.
shy. I don't think that he likes the live. And it took me a while,
Yeah,
to be honest. I was shy too. I just didn't. That's why I don't do videos a lot.
yeah. Well, you're
Because not
amazing.
because I'm shy. Thank you, but because I don't know. If I start talking, I will not stop potentially.
Yeah,
So,
I
so I
know.
don't know if that's good or bad.
Yeah. Well, no, it took me a little while to get used to this, but yeah, it's great when I get speaking to people like yourself. And so last question I have for you
Uh-huh.
is well, there's maybe two. Well, one would be I want to know if there's anything scent wise that you're excited about in 2022. What is your go-to scent coming into 2022, and what are you wearing today?
At the moment, I'm not wearing anything, to be honest, because I literally, it's my day off and got
Okay.
up, did some, we're looking for an apartment at the moment, so this has taken up a lot of our time. So this has been by our morning trying to see if there's anything that we can go and view. So I haven't worn anything. But potentially it will be later on, it will be one of I don't know which one actually I'm going to wear. I haven't thought about it at all for today,
Yeah. So how
because
do
we
you
are
choose
going
your?
out a bit later on. But I
Yeah,
think because the day is so nice, I will go with something nice and floral.
yeah. So do you go? Is that how you choose your fragrance for the day? Because I'm sure
It
you've got.
has to do, yes, with how I feel on the in the
Yeah,
morning. I have a few fragrances, especially from the latest ones that I have that are, I'm writing
yeah.
about and so on. And then I will
Brilliant.
decide to wear from
Yeah,
one of them, either because I want to live with the fragrance a little bit before I review it and just take it around
absolutely.
either to work or out with me.
Yeah, yeah.
Or because one of the days I might decide I just want to wear Shalimar. That's it.
I
That's my
know. Well,
go-to fragrance lately. Like if I
that
don't
was
have,
what it's such a classic. It's such a
I
classic,
know,
isn't
I
it? It's
know,
just
I
such an
love it.
amazing fragrance. And I remember the Shalimar. That was one of my scents as well many years ago, and it's so beautiful. Oh my goodness, Maria, could be sitting here talking to you for ages. I know you've
I
got some
know.
house hunting to do.
Yes.
And I just want to thank all our followers for joining us today, and just really keep an eye out across the Fragrance Foundation UK and all the perfumeries. I'm sure there's a
It's
lot
beautiful.
happening.
There is a
Um,
lot because there is a lot of things got postponed in getting
yeah,
launched because of COVID. So this is the one
yeah,
thing that I'm looking forward to is to actually see the brands bring out the fragrances that they're keeping or they have created during the lockdown, and
I
new
know.
things will come because it does look like the market has a lot of things, but actually in the last couple of years, not a
No,
lot of things have
I
come
know.
out that are very interesting. We're just starting to see the first kind of new things
Yes,
getting released.
I know. And I think that it's the pandemic, and everything has really just put a hold on so much. I have three fragrances that I've made waiting to go, and I just can't get to the stage of putting them to production. So I am hoping, all fingers and toes
Fingers
crossed, that
crossed.
this
I'm
year.
really looking forward to seeing those.
In fact, I must
Yes.
send you. I'll send you little vials so you can try them on the side before I release anything. But listen, thank you, Maria, for your time. Send my
Thank
love
you
to
for
your
inviting
husband,
me. I
and
will.
I look forward to speaking to you soon. And thank you for everybody for joining us this
Thank you
lunchtime.
all.
And happy National
Thank you.
Fragrance Week. Speak to you soon.
Happy
Bye.
National. Speak to you soon, Tonya. Bye. Bye.
Bye, Maria.
Bye.